Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
And let's talk about what lessons about.
Let's hang out.
And let's listen to 2 lesbians shout.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to episode 1 of Let's Hang Out, the podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I am so excited. I am Lee Holmes Foster. I am your co-host chiming in from the West Coast.
And I'm Ellie Brigida, co-host from the East Coast.
And Ellie, I have a question.
Yes.
Can you believe we're making a podcast?
No, I seriously cannot. It's just, we basically just talk all the time about lesbian things. It really just feels like I'm just talking to you and there just happens to be a microphone here. But like,
Yeah,
we pretty much
mean,
have like 10 episodes already recorded.
If only we'd had microphones ready then.
Yeah.
I mean, we would be so much more along. But this is happening. It's
Next
happening
time I meet
now.
a new lesbian, I'm just gonna bring a microphone with me everywhere we go.
I mean, our phones have microphones, right? We could do that.
Yeah, you're right. So how did we get to this point?
How did we get to this point? So part of what got us to this point, I think, is exactly those conversations, is wanting to get that out there a little bit more, get more representation, get more lesbians out there,
I just
right?
want
out into the
all
world.
of the lesbians out there.
All of them everywhere. And we started talking about it, right? And I think the same week that we were talking about it, I was on Twitter, as I do,
Always.
And found this awesome tweet that was so perfect for the conversation we had just had. And it's a tweet by Julia Kay, who's a great comic. Everyone should follow her. She's at Up and Out Comic on Twitter. And the tweet that she put up said, "Representation is so goddamn important. Make the representation you want to see. Get your voice out there." And that was just the perfect timing for where we were and making that decision to say, let's do this.
Yes, I love that. Completely agree with you. All I want is to see more lesbian media, so why not make it ourselves, right?
And here we are making it. And
here we are.
We are so excited to be doing this. And if you guys are excited listening already, please go on iTunes, leave us a rating, leave us a good review, and help us keep making this podcast. We're so excited to be doing this.
Yeah. So where are we going to start?
Where do we start?
There's so much to talk about, but I feel like we should start this first episode the way that every conversation between 2 lesbians go.
And how does that conversation start?
Coming out, obviously.
Coming out.
Coming
Episode
out.
1. Coming out and out.
And out.
So who should go first? Should we do this
I think
chronologically?
Seniority, I guess.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
You're my elder, therefore you get to start.
As the elderly lesbian of the 2 of us, why don't I go first? So my coming out story by Lee Holmes Foster. And it's funny because I realized at this point in my life, I actually don't tell my coming out story very often. I'm married now, so everyone always wants to hear the "how did you 2 meet" story.
Which is
and
also
not the-
equally cute.
Which is a great story, and I'm sure we will get to that story one day on this podcast. I very infrequently now get to tell my coming out story, so I'm super excited.
Yay!
And realized in the process of preparing for this episode of the podcast that I think I had blacked out and forgotten most of my own coming out story.
Yeah.
I actually had to call up the friend that's involved in this story, to ask her for things, because what happened for my coming out is when I was in high school, I was like 15, and I just fell so hard for one of my best friends.
Straight best friend?
Straight best friend, as you do when you're 15.
Classic.
And very
Classic
confused
lesbian
about your
trope.
sexuality. Classic. So she was just everything that I apparently suddenly realized that, I thought was amazing. We were in theater together, so she was a singer and a dancer, and she was beautiful, and it all came so clear.
Yep.
And I remember that realization, slowly, painfully coming to terms with that realization, and this deep confusion about all of these feelings and what did they mean, and I didn't know what to do with them. And then my next distinct memory from now is that I remember there being times where she knew. I mean, she must have known, but, we were pretty comfortable about it.
So you told her at some point.
So I didn't think I had told her. I thought I had done the kind of, pansy, 15, 16-year-old thing of having someone else tell her. Mm-hmm. Have a joint friend.
Yeah, you're in math class and you pass a little note, little check boxes. Are you gay? I am.
Check, yes. Or maybe.
Could be
or
one
questioning.
day? Question mark.
So I thought I had done that. I thought I had asked someone else and kind of hidden behind a wall in the corner, seeing what happened. But no, I called her up because I couldn't remember. And, we still keep in touch. So I called her up on my walk home from work one day and just asked her, I said, hey, who told you? Did I have this friend tell you? Did I have someone tell you? Did I, write it on your live journal or how did I go about...
Oh man, those were the days.
How did I go about conveying my absolute gay love for you when we were 15 and in high school? And she said I told her in person, me, by myself, which is just... It's a recurring pattern, I think, of me making poor decisions in my life.
I'm honestly pretty impressed. I don't know if it's a poor decision. You told her.
I told
that's impressive.
her. Yeah, and then, continuing with my tradition of just being a giant chump, I told her and then proceeded to set her up with the guy she was totally into because I just wanted her to be happy.
Oh, man. Sweet little high school lesbian Lee. Just wanted her to be happy.
I did. I think I definitely have, like, that lesbian martyr complex deeply ingrained in me.
We'll talk about that in a later episode.
Oh, we should do an episode on that, right? There's so much there. So much to unpack.
So you set her up with a guy.
I set her up with a guy. Yeah, helped get her together with her boyfriend.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
And so you didn't end up with your straight best friend falling in love.
I did not. Sadly, she did not return my feelings, but we were still good friends and still are friends, and she's a wonderful, very, very sadly straight person.
Aren't they all sadly straight, though? How can you be straight and happy? I don't get it.
I hear stories that people are, but yeah.
I'll have
to take their word for it.
So you told her.
I told her.
Then your family knows, I'm guessing, since you are...
Well, they know now.
So how did you tell them?
I actually told them a little later. I think at that point, after I came out to her, I think I started coming out, to friends. And then my parents, I think I kind of snuck it on them because I was supposed to be going to prom with a guy and then did not go to prom with a guy. So I actually also called the girl that I took to prom.
Oh, man.
Last week because, and we still talk all the time. I mean, she and I dated for a long time after that. And we were talking about, I named it, in that way that you name things in high school. So we had a plan and it was called Operation Tell My Parents I'm Not going to prom with this guy. I'm bringing a girl instead.
Wow, that's a very long operation name.
Yeah, it wasn't a great name,
think it could've
but
just been
that was the plan.
Operation Gay.
Operation Gay.
Easy.
Operation. Well, I didn't come out as gay originally. I came out as bi. I mean, I had dated guys and suddenly realized my openness to
I mean,
girls
it could
as
also
well.
be Operation Bi. That's fine.
Bi didn't last very long, you know, but for me personally, it wasn't a great name. But that was the plan of how I came out to my parents, was actually to just, you know, sort of surprise. Here's the girl I'm taking to prom with me.
So you came out of a cake together? Like, what do you mean surprise?
I think I just came home and told them. I think I just said, you know how I was taking so-and-so and we were going to go to prom together? Actually, I'm going to take Jess. There's this girl, Jess.
And you said, and we're going as not friends.
Yeah, something like that.
So I think this is hilarious because I went to prom with girls. Multiple. My junior and senior prom, my date was a girl. And I think one of my friends, her senior prom, she brought me. So I went on 3...
But you didn't come out in high school.
Yes, I went on
thought.
3 prom dates with girls as friends. And looking back on it, so I'm like, oh man. Yeah, I think I still have pictures, so...
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Please let's put pictures up.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Do you have pictures of your prom?
Oh, of course I have prom pictures.
Did you wear a tux or no?
No, so this is what's funny, right? Is if you see pictures of us now, she and I both have kind of, you know, the short hair thing going. But in high school, we both had long hair. We both wore dresses. I think my junior prom, I made the terrible decision to get a haircut that day and kind of ended up, I had the classic, the center part hair that we all suffered through in high school. And I ended up with, like, a mullet. I asked her to kind of, like, you know, texturize the front a little bit more. It was like a mullet.
So you
we
have
call it the prom
pictures
mullet.
of you with a mullet that we're going to post on our Instagram, 100%.
It's like a soft mullet, like a gentle mullet, you know?
A very kind mullet.
Yeah. It's a just soft-spoken mullet, but it's a little bit of a mullet. We'll post pictures.
We'll definitely post pictures. Like I said, I went to prom with 3 girls. Actually, one of the girls I went to prom with twice. Good times. And I wish that I had come out in high school, because it's not like I wasn't gay in high school. Clearly.
Right.
As I was the only one with a female prom date in my group, but I would rather have gone to prom with those girls because, of course, I did. But yeah, I didn't come out until I was in college. I was 20 years old. I remember because it was right before my 21st birthday. And Gay Ellie had a fantastic time on my 21st.
Excellent. A fantastic gay time, I hope.
Such a gay time. So I was actually told that I was gay from my best friend Cassandra, who was also my roommate.
She told you.
She told me. She wasn't the first person to tell me, but she was the first person who told me, and I was receptive to it. So, yeah, other people had said, Ellie, I think you are a lesbian, and I would freak out. Get so mad at them.
How did it take so long?
I really don't know. I think I had a lot of issues coming to terms with it for myself. You know, I had always been very active in the gay community, loved all of my gay friends, but for some reason, for me, I can't be gay.
Were you in GSA? I was in our GSA in high school before I came out.
My goodness. Yeah, I was not in GSA, but
I was in the GSA convinced I was the A.
Yeah, you're very much the G. The OG.
OG Lee.
But yeah, so my friend Cassandra, love her to death, I had this dream, okay? And there was this girl that I was very close friends with. She was in my sorority. Yes, I was in a sorority. And I had been spending a lot of time with her. She was a very attractive lesbian. And of course, I had a crush on her, but did not realize this about myself. So in the dream, I ended up killing her with a poisoned blanket.
You what?
I smothered this girl that was my friend. I loved her in more ways than one. And I killed her in my dream. So
With a blanket.
yeah, with a blanket. There's a lot of symbolism there. So I talked to my friend Cassandra and I say to her, "What do you think about this dream? What could it mean? I feel so guilty. I killed her in my dream and I didn't want to kill her. Should I not be friends with her? Am I having these weird feelings towards her? I don't know." And when I say feelings, I meant, oh, am I angry at her for something? The fact that I had a crush on her did not even cross my mind. My friend Cassandra tells me, "Okay, Ellie, you really want to hear what the dream is about? You have a crush on Alexa and you are trying to kill her with a blanket. You are trying to smother those feelings and get rid of them.
Wow.
And that's what I think your dream is about. What do you think about that, Ellie?" My response.
That's deep.
Yeah. There's some serious symbolism going on in there. So I say to Cassandra, "No, there's no way. Of course, that's not what the dream means." But for the next week or so, all I could think about was the dream. And every single gay interaction I had for my whole life just was replaying through my head on campus, walking around. Everyone I saw, I would just think to myself, they know. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone's looking at me, and they know that all these gay thoughts are going through my head.
They can see it.
They can see it on my
in
face.
your eyes.
I just turned.
Your gay eyes.
And I realized pretty quickly that I did have feelings for her and that I had feelings for a lot of my other friends in the past, and figured that whole thing out. So
Yeah, because so much of it makes sense in hindsight, right?
yes, it always makes so much sense looking back. Yes, so the first girl that I ever kissed sort of ties into this because...
Was it that same girl?
No.
Okay.
We're still good friends. So, I was in an a cappella group in college, which you know.
Yes.
For our listeners, Lee and I met through a cappella.
Another small niche community.
And we had an invitational. And this was about a week after I had really come to terms with the fact, okay, I definitely am into women. Let me try to explore this. So another group from Philadelphia came to sing with us. And I saw this girl. And I swear to God, everything else. It was like that scene in West Side Story. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When it's just
You
like the
turn-
lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, "I'm going to kiss that girl tonight." And
Your eyes met. Heavenly choirs started singing in the wings.
yeah. And here's the thing. This is a long string of this is exactly what Ellie does with women. I saw her. I decided I was going to kiss her. I had no clue if she was gay or not. Spoiler alert. She wasn't. But we did kiss. So I ended up telling all of the girls in my a cappella group. I pulled them aside. I think I brought them to the bathroom and was like, "Hey guys, I just want to tell you this before I do this because I'm really going to try to kiss that girl tonight and I don't want any of you to be surprised. But I'm gay. I'm going to make out with that girl. Thanks."
That's how you came out to your group?
Yes.
I have made a conscious decision that I am going to attack that girl's face with my face this very evening,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore I'd like to warn you before this happens.
Yeah, just
that is a thing that I want to do.
just a little warning. Hey, if you see me kissing that girl, that's why. Don't be alarmed.
Oh God.
And it's going to happen. And it did. And my good friend Kayla, I love her for this. It was college. So we're playing Kings. And in Kings, like every time you get a king, you make a rule.
Okay.
So she got a king. And she said, "All right, every time somebody drinks, Ellie and Marie have to kiss." And this girl's name is Marie. And I am like, "Oh no, like I'm not gonna make you kiss me." And she was like, "I'll kiss."
That's stupid.
I'll
That's
kiss
so
you.
stupid.
I'm like, "Oh, you'll kiss me? Okay, let's kiss." And basically, we just started making out. Everyone else was playing Kings around us, and we were still kissing for years. And it was
Oh my
magical,
God.
and I
Wait,
knew.
Can we just talk real quick about your friends? Where does one buy these friends?
Yeah, I have really awesome friends.
right? Mm-hmm. Those are top-notch friends right there.
Yeah.
Friends with, like, deep psychological insight into your dreams. Friends that are, like, wing-womaning the shit out of that night.
Yeah. Shout out. Shout out to the friends who just really want to help me get with ladies. I love it.
Out of control. I need those. I mean, I don't need those friends anymore, but I wish I'd had those friends when I was,
Yeah.
16.
They were the best.
Ellie, what should I watch now that Wynonna Earp ended?
Well, if you like Wynonna Earp, you should definitely check out Riley Parra on Tello. It's a little bit Wynonna Earp, a little bit Buffy, and a little bit Rosalia Niles, but actually gay.
Oh my god, I love the Riley Parra book, so of course I'm watching it. Plus, Tello's all about making content for lesbians, so lesbians are front and center.
And you know we are all about lesbians front and center. Ugh. And did you know they're the first lesbian network to receive an Emmy nomination? Which is huge.
Such a big deal. We were so excited to buy our subscription because we know all those fees are just going to go straight into making more lesbian content, which I think is something we all want.
More lesbians. Absolutely. So be sure to check out Tello and subscribe to watch great shows like Riley Parra and so many others. So I think at this point, it's probably a good time to talk about the title of this episode.
Let's do it.
Coming out and out and out.
Not just coming out. Coming out over and over again. Because I think that's an important thing to capture in this episode, right? Because coming out, it's not something you do once. You do it once for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then you keep doing it. You have to tell everyone you meet.
Exactly.
Maybe not
There's
everyone.
The self coming out.
But, you know.
Everyone to a certain extent. But it is a conversation that comes up.
I just want everyone to know. Well, yeah, because I came out to myself. I came out to Cassandra. I ended up coming out to all the girls in my a cappella group. Then you have to come out to your family.
You came out to your family in college too? Or?
Yes, in college. I need to tell this story because I absolutely love the way that I came out to my mother.
Okay, I'm ready.
We were watching Magic Mike, which is a horrific movie. The worst movie possible. The only reason you would ever watch Magic Mike is if you were straight and you wanted to look at these hot men dancing. Everything else, plot line, love interest, horrible movie. So we watched that movie, myself, my mother, and my sister. After the movie, my mom starts making all of these comments about the guys, and I'm very silent, the gay silence. And I decide at this moment, I just need to tell my mom why I don't care about the guys in Magic Mike. I don't. So I told her, Mom, I really wasn't interested in those guys because I'm gay and I like women. And what did your parents say when you came out? What was their first reaction?
I don't know what their first reaction was. I think they were just surprised.
Mm-hmm. But, well, my mother's reaction was, I gotta tell Trish. Those are her exact words, and I will never forget those words.
And who's Trish?
So, Trish is my mom's best friend, and she said, Trish has been telling me for years that you are a lesbian, and she keeps asking me, has Ellie come out yet? And now I have to tell her. I'm gonna call her. Basically, she called Trish. I'm sitting in the room, pouring my heart out. I'm gay, Mom. I want some support. I want some love. And she says, I gotta tell Trish.
Trish and your mom had like a 20-year bet going.
Yeah.
You know,
Trish
she's
won
like,
a lot of
damn
money.
it, I owe Trish a pizza night.
Yeah. Trish is rich now. Wealthy. Very wealthy because I came out.
So what you're saying is less surprised.
Yeah, she was not surprised at all.
Are people usually surprised when you come out now?
Here's the thing.
When you meet someone new, right?
Now, coming out and out and out, people are surprised now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you usually come out to people, but I come out a lot to guys who hit on me. So they're very surprised. Very surprised and say very annoying things, of course.
Yeah.
But the people who knew me well were never surprised. Yeah. I don't know. How do you usually come out to people? Have you come out to the people at work?
It's a little easier now. I can cheat because I can just mention my wife. You know, I think having that terminology kind of skips a lot of the ways that you might find to come out otherwise. It's very not confusing. It's upfront, it's clear. You know, it doesn't leave a lot of room for debate.
Nobody's gonna ask you, are you sure?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Are you sure you have a wife?
Do you have photographic evidence of the wedding? I do, actually. Here are 400 pictures of my wedding on me at all times. But yeah, that's how I would say I most often come out these days. By choice, you know. I mean, I think if that's something I am intending to bring into the conversation, that's what I'll do. But even then, I mean, that decision, do I come out to this person or not? Do I need to come out to this person or not? Is it, you know, am I going to talk to them ever again? Does it matter?
Yeah. Whereas I'm just like the barista at Starbucks. I need to tell her that I'm gay because I'm going to hit on her.
They're just sitting there with like a, you know, grande mocha for gay. Just says gay. Anyone gay?
Anybody gay?
Anybody? I mean, you might get some interested ladies.
I actually
that way.
think I
Who
might
knows?
try that. That was a joke originally, but I feel like you see heads turn, and I'm like, oh, hey.
You can report back. Although, actually, you know, I had a high school teacher whose first name was Gay, so it is a name.
Yeah, I know people who have the last name Gay as well.
Yeah.
It's just my little nickname in quotes, Ellie Gay Brigida. Yeah, one of my friends in college, her name's Amelia. Shout out to Amelia. When I came out, she's from Staten Island. All she would say to me is, I love Gay Ellie. Every time she would see me. I think she still says that to me. I call her. She's like, hey, Gay Ellie. I love it.
Is that what I need to call you now?
Yes,
I
prefer
switch to Gay Ellie.
Gay Ellie. That's what I want to be called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. So, Gay Ellie, tell me a little bit about how, other than guys hitting on you, how do you come out to people?
Okay, well, usually, because I'm single, it's harder for me to come out to people. So, I try to slip it into conversation as much as I can. Bring up lesbian literature, see if anyone says anything. Literature being the L word. Oh, did anyone see that episode of Wynonna Earp last night? I watch it because I love women. But yeah, usually I do just try to throw in, I love girls, or that's really it.
Gay Ellie in the wild, coming out.
Yeah, and it actually happens pretty often. Or if I'm with someone who knows me, they usually will tell people for me. It's a very big part of my identity, so I understand that it always comes up. It really does. I mean, the first time I met you, we started talking about it.
Yeah, it did not take long for us to find that common ground.
Yeah. I mean, I also see you and I'm like, hey, lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't always though. Some I don't know, straight people. They don't have the same gaydar, I guess. No. I know and love many straight people, but they do not seem to pick that up as a characteristic of myself.
Nope.
Which I find funny.
It is. It's hilarious because you you look pretty gay. That's the highest compliment. I say that to people and they're like, oh. I say, coming from me, you want to hear that from me because that means you look good today.
Yeah, you're like, I'm into the gay aesthetic,
yeah,
so
I love it.
That's my jam. We will probably do a whole episode on just gay aesthetics at some point as well. We could talk about that for hours.
I really could. I love gay aesthetics.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/leshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/leshangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart-Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast, Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's only one story. The Only One in the Room has a wide variety of guests, from prisoners to abuse survivors to swingers. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee that Only One in the Room will have a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
So I want to talk a little bit about, we talked about representation at the beginning of this episode.
Yes.
So I would love to talk about coming out in media and how...
Coming out stories.
Yeah, how we're represented in the media for coming out and why that is such a common story for
it's
television.
It's the common story, right? I mean, it is hard to find representation, examples of lesbian representation on television that do not involve somebody, you know, that initial coming out story, that first realization to yourself, oh my God, I have these feelings, what is happening, that coming out conversation with the people that you know and you care about. I would say it's the most commonly represented story that we see.
Definitely. And we don't have any full-fledged lesbians that are already on screen. We do have some, but we don't see it as often.
Every now and then, yeah, it's a lot less common. And it's interesting because it's great. I think it's great, and I think especially because representation is so important for you know, people at that age, people who are coming out, people who are questioning and dealing with those feelings coming up and don't know what to do with them. I think seeing that is really important, but also, like I said when I told my coming out story, it's not a story I actually tell that often these days. I'm kind of past that point, you know, and it'd be nice to also see see other stories, see just lesbians living lesbian lives who know it and are comfortable with it and are confident about it.
Agreed. The L word. The L word's coming back. That's why the L word needs to come back, because...
Yes, to have established lesbians on television.
Yes. Yes, please.
But let's talk about coming out stories, because there are some great coming out stories.
Yes. Okay, what's your favorite TV coming out story?
If I have to pick just one, I still think my favorite coming out moment in a show, and
I feel like I'm gonna guess exactly which one you're gonna say, but say it and then I'll tell you.
Do you want to guess first? I want to know if you're right.
All right. Well, I think it's gonna be Willow from Buffy.
It's not Willow. It's not. Although I love Willow coming out too. But no, and it's funny because I have a lot of opinions and reservations about where the show ended up going at the end of the day. But Pretty Little Liars, Paige McCullers coming out scene where they're in high school. She has a very overbearing father, and she just wants to be perfect. She wants to be the best swimmer on the swim team and the top student and everything. And she has this beautifully written scene where she comes out to Emily, to the girl that she is realizing that she's head over heels in love with.
Because who is not head over heels in love with her?
Nobody on the planet of Earth. And she has this really, really touching moment where she says, if I say it out loud, if I say I'm gay, everything will change. And I think that those words, I think, are so important to have out there, because it does. It's not just admitting it to yourself, it's putting it out into the world, saying the words.
I feel like that's the experience that I had. Once I said those things, I couldn't unsay them, and you can't go back from there.
You can't go back. And we will talk about Pretty Little Liars, I'm sure, in future episodes of this podcast. I have a lot of opinions, but Paige McCullers, my lesbian Batman, there is no shortage of love in my heart for her and her character and her character's coming out journey. I just thought it was really beautifully done.
That's beautiful. So my favorite TV coming out story is actually not very beautiful. And
I'm so excited.
I think this show's pretty controversial in the gay community, but I loved it. And it's Amy's coming out from Faking It. Have you seen that show?
I have not, so you're going to have to walk me through it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, Faking It, the premise of the show. 2 girls in high school pretend to be lesbians to be popular, which I think is hilarious, that being a lesbian in high school makes them popular.
But funny.
Yeah. But they take that and spin it on its head, because one of the girls who is pretending realizes after kissing her best friend that she's not pretending, that she is a lesbian, that she has feelings for her best friend, and they run with that story. So it's a comedy. It's a little dramatic, but it's mostly a comedy. So how she comes out to the most popular guy in school, who is a gay guy, of course. And she comes running up to him and says, I need a girlfriend. And I'm like, don't we all, Amy? And you could be mine.
Don't we all?
Amy is the definition of my type physically.
Okay.
She's tall, blonde, perfection. So I just love her. And I don't know, I liked it almost because they didn't make a big deal of it, if that makes sense. I liked it because it was a short scene. It happened. She talked about it. She said, I need a girlfriend. She said, I think I'm a lesbian. And the guy that she told wasn't surprised and just acted like it was a normal conversation that they were having. And that's why I loved it, even though it was pretty ridiculous.
Dead opposite of my pick, right? Mine is like, there's tears running down her face. There's the camera zoom, made just emotions exploding everywhere. Yeah. That's good. I think we have a study of contrasts here in terms of coming out.
It's beautiful.
Coming out stories on TV.
So many.
Although, man, being a lesbian in high school did not make me more popular. I was doing it wrong.
Exactly. Well, if being a lesbian in high school was going to make me popular, then maybe I would have fake kissed my best friend and realized earlier. Dang it.
Hindsight's 2020. So are we ready for our next segment?
I think we are ready for our next segment.
Okay, because we want to have another segment where we are going to take a little quiz that I wrote for Ellie. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I love questions.
Okay, so let's introduce our very first installment of Q and Gay.
Q and Gay!
Q and Gay.
So here's how Q and Gay works. Q and Gay is a chance for us to ask each other questions. Every episode, one of us will write a little survey for the other one to answer, but also a chance for you guys to chime in as well. We're going to put them up on our Twitter, so we'll cover that at the end. For now, I'm going to ask Ellie a couple questions related to the topic of coming out.
Beautiful.
So, question number 1.
Hit me.
How out are you?
How
are you
out
all
am
the way
I?
out? Yeah.
Okay.
A little out,
I think we
mostly
talked
out.
about it a little bit before. I would say mostly out. I don't run down the street screaming, I'm gay, I'm gay. Sometimes I do. I actually think I might do it right after I record this podcast. I'm feeling very gay today.
Okay.
So not everyone knows, but most people who have talked to me for longer than 2 days know that I'm gay.
I'd say that's pretty out. And how old were you when you first came out? We covered this a little bit.
So I was 20 years old, in college, right before my 21st, getting wild with the ladies on the 21st.
And I'm realizing if I came out at 15, that means I am now, so I'm 30. I'm about to enter I have now been out officially longer than I was ever,
That's amazing.
mistakenly straight. Right?
Congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
My gay side's winning, I think is the important thing there.
The best side.
Who is the first person that you came out to?
So Cassandra came me out. I would say that
To me.
I would say that Cassandra is the first person that I told, but really she told me.
Cassandra is the dream oracle friend.
Yes.
Yes, who I need one of those. I would love someone to interpret my dreams. Were people surprised when you came out?
So some people were surprised, most people were not. Obviously, gotta tell Trish. No surprise there. I think a lot of
Trish made $20 that day.
Yeah. A lot of the guys that had crushes on me, I think, were surprised and disappointed. They were really, I think, the only people who didn't know, but I think it's because they didn't want to know. So, yeah.
Okay, now this next question, this is, I care about this because I think I'm going to make $20 off the responses to this one. So, you meet someone new, they come out to you in the course of the conversation. Someone outs themselves to you. Do you return the favor and come out as well?
Yes. I always return the favor. Let's be real. And if you wanted to know while you're listening, I just winked. But of course, I love meeting new lesbians. So if someone tells me they're gay, my immediate response is, yippee, me too. Let's be lesbian friends. That's it.
I think you said yippee when
I'm pretty sure I
realized
did. That's my number one
each other.
response is yippee. Just like that.
Okay, how about this question? Has anyone else ever outed you? Like against your will or without you knowing?
So I do think people out me pretty often, but it's really because I am comfortable with it. All of my friends know I'm out to everyone, so it's not a secret. And sometimes they'll make a lesbian joke towards me. And I'm like, oh yeah, Ellie's a big lesbian. Ha 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 ha. So in that way, yes, people have outed me, but not in a malicious way.
I realized I have a new answer to this recently, which is that, who's outed me without my knowing it most recently in my life? Google.
Google?
Google has outed me. Yeah, so I realized at work, one of the customers that I work with, they do everything on Gmail, and my company doesn't use Gmail as our work accounts. But we were on a call with an account, and we were screen sharing, and on their screen, I realized that my email pops up with my Google email picture, for like my Gmail picture.
Oh, which is you and your wife.
And I don't know why. Which is a picture of my wedding. Right. It's very unambiguously two women getting married. So I realized everyone at that customer must have no questions about my sexuality right now.
Well, That's fine.
So thank you, Google.
Thank you, Google.
Very nice.
I was thinking
nice
you had
outage
put it
right
in a
there.
search engine. Like, put your name in the search engine. The first thing that comes up is a picture of you, and underneath it just says gay.
I mean, to be fair, I think most of my profile photos right now are my Make America Gay Again shirt that we made for me. So
Beautiful.
That also, you know, might come up for Google. We'll find out. I should Google myself. Okay, last question. Here we go. What is your coming out song?
Okay, I have a great answer to this. I was in a sorority, told everyone this earlier. And the week after I came out, we have meetings every week. So I showed up to meeting and I was a little bit late. And as I usually was late to that meeting because it was boring. But this was a good meeting. So I show up, I open the door. There's this weird second of dead silence. I'm in a sorority. Girls are never quiet. And all of a sudden, somebody hits play and I'm coming out just starts playing on these loudspeakers. We have a dance party. Everyone makes a circle around me. And I just start dancing to I'm Coming Out. So every time that song comes on, I'm reminded of how amazing my friends are. And I also just love saying, I'm coming out. Key change.
I want the world to know.
Yeah.
You have your own, like, mini pride. That's amazing.
I loved it. Yep.
That's great. So those are our Q&A questions, and we want you guys to answer them as well. So those will all be up. You can find them on our Twitter at Les Hangout Pod. That is Les with a Z.
Obviously.
And we want you guys to answer them as well. And let us know your coming out stories. We want to hear all about them.
Yes, we want to hear them. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Les Hangout Pod.
And we will be posting some photos of us on our Instagram.
Yes, those
We're
prom
going to have
pics.
photos. Oh my God, prom pics. We're going to have photos of Ellie and I so you can get to know us. We'll have photos of us at the ages we came out.
Yep.
So yay, more high school photos of me to share with
I love
everyone.
it.
Or if you want to send us a message, you can email us at leshangoutpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you guys, hear your coming out stories. And you can also check us out on our website, and that is leshangoutpod.com. Basically, Les Hangout Pod, all the social medias.
And if you want to follow us individually, the best place to find me is on Instagram at LEB2792.
And if you want to find me, Lee Holmes Foster, the best place is on Twitter at LSH Foster. Find us everywhere. We can't wait to hear from you guys, and we can't wait to make more episodes. We have so many good topics coming up that we're going to talk about.
I'm so excited.
Until that time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Ellie. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast, and with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.